Thank you for joining another episode of Strategy and Soul. As you've heard from the introduction, this podcast is all about really supporting, blending our energetics with the foundational and systematic work within our business. And today, I am bringing you a road trip episode that I'm recording solo. There's no kids in the car, no distractions, just you and I. And really why I want to do this is just, it's also providing a little bit of evidence and I guess like social proof that there are people out there running their businesses in alignment and making multiple six figures, and they're still doing it by having fun and creating environments that best support creativity. And I don't want you to listen to this and think about the background noise or think about that I'm not in my studio. But the reason why I'm saying this is because anything is possible if you make it so. And strategically speaking, yes, I could look at it and limit myself and restrict my ability to create what I want to create, and when I'm feeling in flow and in love with what I want to share and my message and with you listening, and I want to create that nurturing within my community, I could restrict. Yes, I could distract. I could make an excuse. I could say, oh, perhaps I should be a little more professional. Perhaps I shouldn't record this unless I am in my soundproof studio. But imagine if every time you wanted to do something, you didn't do it. And just knowing how that feels to subdue the desire. And I lived that life. I used to have a life where daily suppression of my emotions was a habit, whereby other people's opinions were more important than my own, about myself, about my life goals, big and small, even about my tiny daily habits that are all compounding and creating the life of my dreams. Because truly, to create the life of your dreams, what it takes is not bullshitting yourself, not putting yourself down, not making excuses. And when you do, you're aware of them and you're able to really harness a level of self-responsibility and self-control that leads you down this path of real divine honesty that can sometimes be really painful. So why I think it's funny now is because I cannot even believe and comprehend sometimes, depending on my mood, how I came from a life where I absolutely hated myself. I would make excuses for everything under the sun, not to be this best version of myself, not to even strive to be a better version of myself. And it just blows my mind how now I'm in the position that I've put myself in, that I've educated myself to become, that I've embodied all of these aspects of self that inspire other women. And I hope to inspire you. I desire to inspire you because I don't want you to ever have to live a life of suppression and holding yourself back based on the limitations that your brain is believing. And some questions that I'd love you to ask yourself if you want to journal this out, or even whatever's popped into your mind while I'm having this conversation with you. It would be totally amazing if you could tune in and ask yourself, where did I learn this belief? And I know some of my clients that are listening that I love how they listen to my podcast. I'm so freaking grateful. But some of them have already workshopped through this journal prompt specifically. When was the first time in my life that I heard this story that I now believe and create my life with the belief of? and it's quite big. And sometimes psychologically, it's good to reframe a statement or a sentence or a journal prompt, even affirmations, because when we do that, our brain can absorb it on a different level and in a different way. And so I'm just going to show an example of what that might look like after I've said this big statement. Practicing reframes looks like swapping the words around and shifting the sentence. So if I'm creating a life based on my belief about a particular story that I'm still believing, that I didn't give to myself, when was the first time in my life that I heard that story and chose to believe it? And now I believe it. And now I'm creating my life based on the belief of that story. So there's a bit of a juicy one. And I'm very, very interested to see if anybody would like to message and let me know what they discovered based on that journal prompt and that reframe. And seeing a real live example, which is what I do in my calls, about perspectives and reframes and leading people into self-inquiry. Our body and our mind has all of the answers. It has the keys to unlock the next levels. And our body, in some ways, can actually restrict and hold that back and wants us to stay the same because it's very comfortable. And how comfortable it is to stay the same is interesting. And it's a choice. And you get to step into that empowered CEO energy, into the yes, I can energy, into the I give myself the permission to decide for myself and to be the one that gets to make choices, make schedule, make boundaries, create more, create less, rest less. What do you want to do? What is your body telling you as I'm going through these words? Which one feels like resistance? Which one feels like pain? And on the other side of it, because it's not all about the shadow work, which one feels like it lights you up? Which one feels like joy? So it turns out that this is a snackPOD episode. So the show notes and the title and the graphics will reflect that. But I'm really going to leave it there. And I'm going to leave you with that beautiful opening, the invitation to open. And I hope that wherever you are in the world, no matter what the time of the day or night is, that you will be able to tune more into the frequency of your desires and gift that to yourself. If you wanted to find out more about the Strategy and Soul podcast, when I share new episodes over on my Instagram, Danikah Rose Creative. And where we all hang out, these like-minded women that are on a similar wavelength, we're hanging out in Conscious Business Creatives. That is my Facebook group. It's totally free. I go live in there for intuitive card readings that are exclusive to that group. Yeah, they're exclusive to those women that are all hanging out there together. So it'd be absolutely amazing to have you over there in that community. And I'll catch you around.